Is my mic on? I hope so. Hey everybody, it's Jasmine. Today we're going to be reacting to my old artwork. So you can come along and watch as I go through my probably the last 10 years of work that I actually kept. The stuff that I didn't throw in the fireplace or in the garbage, and we can all cringe together. So I'm gonna go over to the other side of my room in this dark, dusty corner, and I'm gonna go grab all of my old stuff so we can kind of go through it, and then I can explain to you what I was thinking at the time, and then you guys can kind of see how my work has changed over time. So it's been sitting over there for years collecting dust, whereas the work that I've made recently, it's on the wall collecting dust. That is blank. Oh yeah, this. See? In class, I used to doodle on the back of the composition book, so over a period of time, I went through a lot of ballpoint pens. I actually submitted this into the school yearbook. I don't know why they accepted it. There's just like people, and they're really disproportionate. They look really jacked up. Okay, that's also blank. Blank. Why is there a bunch of blank paper? This is where all my paper goes? Also blank. This is the cheat paper. Wow, I've come a long way. I have this. This is a scratch etch paper. I forgot what you call them. This one is from January 31st, 2008. I tried to put the date on everything, but sometimes it just didn't happen. Did I even sign this? Did not. This was also from beginning art class. We had to learn how to do I think they were like carbon copies, so I had to draw one and kind of repeat it. And we could pick whatever color scheme we wanted. We could do monochromatic or just two colors or like different ones. So I went with the pink, purple, blue, and green. And I have no idea what year it's from. Oh, here is another scratch board. This one I did in intermediate drawing. I don't know where I was going with this. It's like a girl on a swing. I had to scratch away all that grass and the trees and stuff. I think this is the first piece where I kind of got obsessed with drawing trees and branches, so I kind of went a little bit crazy with it. This is from, it does not have the date on it. Shocker. I think I'm gonna talk about my AP art just like the second half of this. We'll get through all the beginning and intermediate stuff first, because the AP art, it kind of carries a theme. So I want to go over that. This is from, I'm trying to think here. This is from Advanced Drawing. This was also one of my first colored pencil portraits. This is actually my little brother. I found a picture of him when he was, I believe he was 3 or 4, and I wanted to draw it. I got a lot of good feedback on how I did like the bed sheet and stuff. That's kind of where I started experimenting with values with the colored pencils. This was an assignment. It was an assignment in advanced drawing class, and I believe I did this, I want to say it was around 2009, so it's pretty old. It's been a while. Oh my god, this is bringing back so much anxiety. This was one of my first hand drawings. I believe it was, I think it's my second hand drawing if I'm not correct. I believe it was a sketchbook assignment. I had an art teacher in school that would give us sketchbook assignments. So she'd give us a list of like themes or like ideas for that, and we'd have to turn in a sketchbook assignment every week. That was my homework. I had art homework besides the regular work that I did in class. And the one was to draw your hand, and I had to basically just hold my hand like this, or actually like, is it this way? Yeah, it's my left hand. I had to hold my hand like this and just like lay it on a table and hold it still while I drew it as fast as I could. And I believe I just used, I think I used like a black pastel for this one. I don't know why people complain about drawing hands. It's not that hard. I'm actually really happy. I remember being so happy with how this turned out. And my teacher agreed. She was all, oh my god, it's so great. She's like, you got all the values right, you got the color mixing down. So I think this is probably one of my favorite old pieces, and I hate most of my old stuff. I hate about 98% of it. I either lost or I misplaced most of my advanced artwork. Like, I don't know where it is. I can't find it. I have like beginning art, and then it just like skips a year all the way to AP art, and there's like hardly anything in between. If I didn't explain the difference before, beginning art is obviously beginning art. It's like first year art. But I took 2 drawing classes. So I took beginning art and I took beginning drawing. And then the sophomore year I took advanced art, and then my junior year I took AP art, which is supposed to get you college credit if you get a good score, but I'll talk about that later, about the portfolio and everything. So you can kind of see how I dealt with disappointment from that. I guess I got water on it. I remember this. We had to do a duck painting, or a duck piece, because we were going to enter in these duck stamp competitions. I think they gave you like $500 if you got first place. Unfortunately, I did not win. It was a school assignment, but it also counted as an entry towards this contest. So if you win the contest, you get like $500, plus you get to have your artwork on like a postage stamp. It's kind of weird and random, but I remember one of my friends, he won. I was a little bit jealous of him. For the love of all that is good, I could never think of anything to draw. I had to draw for school, but even that was extremely difficult, thinking of things to create. And now that I have all these great ideas, I don't have enough time to do it. So I'm pretty confident in my skills now, but at the same time, I just wish I had more time to do stuff, and I wish I could color faster. I wish I did not have to spend 50 hours drawing something out, but I'm usually happy with how it turns out now. So you have to put in the time, but you also have to kind of give yourself time to come up with things. You can't make yourself sit down and think of something. It's probably not going to happen. The best ideas that I've gotten for drawings have happened when I was trying to fall asleep. So I'd get up out of bed and just write down what it is I wanted to draw. I just write like a quick note down. And that's why I always have like, I always have a notebook in the drawer in my nightstand, because I have ideas for videos. I write out scripts. I come up with new drawing ideas, what I need for a video. Some of the stuff falls through because I don't really like how it turns out, so I end up either filming it and not liking it, or I draw it out and I don't like it, and then it just kind of gets set aside. But that's really where I get my ideas now. We had to draw our shoe, and then we could pick the color theme for it. So this was from Advanced Art. It was, let's see. Says this is from February 12th of 2009. One of my pieces where I got a little bit more experience with colored pencil. So this is one of the ones where I started to color heavier and get more of the paper covered without any white showing through. I'm trying to think, what else? My shoe was not actually that color. My shoe was actually, I think it was just white with a little bit of gold and black, so I totally changed the color scheme of it. This was the one I did before I had to go to AP Art. So I took advanced art in sophomore year, and then I had a list of assignments to do over the summer. I had like 6 assignments to do, and this one was to draw the sky over your house, or draw the sky over your house or over a neighborhood, or some kind of skyscape thing. So if you can tell, or you can probably tell, look how shiny this pencil is. That's how heavy-handed I was. And this is one of the pieces where I discovered that a colorless blender exists. This is another piece that I did over the summer before I took AP Art. This one was to draw a person with, I'm trying to think, what was it? It was to draw, it was some kind of unusual portrait. So I decided to draw this lady made out of like different kinds of fabric. The whole thing is done in oil pastel. Oh, my doggy! This was also a sketchbook assignment from 2009. This is also him from 2009. This one, so okay, so before I go on with the next set of drawings, I do want to explain a few things. During AP Art, I had to do a total of 24 assignments in one school year. So some of those, that's why I had to do some over the summer, because those were applied towards my portfolio at the end of the year. So I got like, I think 6 assignments done over the summer, something like that. Some of them I did throw away, so we're gonna go with the breadth assignments and some of the concentrations. So a concentration assignment is, it's 12 pieces that you have to do throughout the school year, and they have to kind of be cohesive. They have to carry a theme. It can be whatever theme you want, but they have to kind of like all tie together somehow. Mine was supposed to be like, I think it was like areas in my house or like hobbies or something. It wasn't really a great idea, but I remember mine was, it was like areas in my house. I remember doing like the kitchen, the living room, where we play with the dogs, and I don't remember too much. My room where my friends and I hang out, like stuff like that. I know it's kind of like, it seems like kind of generic to me, but whatever. And then we had breadth assignments, which were assignments that we got in class that we could do. So we all had to we all got one assignment every couple of weeks to do something. Sometimes it would be like a view from a window, which is the one that I have right now. There were different portraits, or do something black and white, or a scratch board or something. It changed all the time, but the people that were in AP Art, which is me and one other person, we had to do these. We kind of had to go with that theme, whatever the assignment was. This one is one I did. It was an acrylic painting. I used really cheap painting because I was, poor. And this is from, it doesn't have an exact year, but I know it's from AP Art. So this is one that has a view from a window. So I used a giraffe. The other view from a window that I have for the class assignment was this one. This is actually, I painted this with my fingers. No joke, the whole thing is a finger painting. I think this was the first assignments of the school year. This one I had to, no, I'm trying to think, was this sophomore year? This is either sophomore year or junior year. Okay, this one I'm not entirely sure about. This one was an assignment to draw some type of landscape or cityscape from a different point of view. So this one I decided to draw glass buildings. I used ink for this one, so I drew glass buildings, and then I drew a bunch of like flowers and vines inside the buildings, kind of like a giant greenhouse. This one was you have to draw like a daily task, so something you do when you go home every day. Some people chose like brushing their hair or reading a book or whatever. This one again was about my dogs. This one was done in oil pastel. I remember going through a crap ton of green oil pastel, and I remember my hands were stained green for probably 2 weeks because that's how long this piece took to finish. This one was a breadth piece. This was it's I don't know how to explain it. It's to draw an area that shows evidence of your existence. It was kind of a weird assignment. So this one I drew my room, and I drew like a bunch of paint splatters and cookies and whatever else is on here. Tea, nail polish. This was done in Prismacolor on black paper. I think this was my first black paper drawing. I think this was a concentration that I did. This is a tea set that I have from my grandma, so I decided to draw it. I put it on like a piece of fabric. I drew it out and I painted it. This probably has about 75 layers of paint on it because I didn't think that there was enough paint. What year was this from? Let me think. It was AP Art or Advanced Art. Right. When you are an overweight teenager and all you can think about is food, obviously you paint it. These are supposed to be my hands, my creepy hands. That one looks like a lobster claw. And that one, I think I painted over the wrist. That's why it's shaped all weird. My camera cut off. I was talking. That was very rude. Now we're getting down to the last few pieces, and then I'm going to go over what a concentration drawing is, as well as a breadth drawing if you are ever looking at going into AP Art. It's definitely a good challenge. You do learn a lot. It doesn't mean that just because you get a bad grade or you fall behind, it doesn't mean that your work is low quality. This was also my concentration. This is the last one. I clearly rushed through this. It was a drawing from a view of a scrapbook. My friends were nice enough to let me take pictures of them so that I can use them for reference. That's me, that's Espy, and that's Anna. It's a scratch board that I did. This is when I used to make a lot of cookies. This is probably my favorite scratch board piece that I've done. I think it took the most time. During that time I didn't really keep track of how long it took to do drawings. I just kind of, you know, whatever, worked on it a few minutes here and there. I do recommend that if you take this class that you have a lot of time. I had to sign stuff, I had to actually write about it, like write like a description or a weird, not really a story, but just kind of explaining what I was trying to convey through my work and all the crap that I used for it. We did have to grade ourselves for pretty much every piece. We had to critique ourselves, we had to put up all of our artwork up on this board, and the entire class could see each other's work in one sitting. So we got to critique each other. It really helps you to kind of step back and take a look at your work, so you can kind of see how you can improve on it. You can see what adjustments need to be made to it, but somebody else's eyes are seeing it, because usually if you're looking at something for a long period of time, you start to like not recognize that something's off, so sometimes you need a second pair of eyes to look at it. You have to submit all of your artwork at the end of the year. It goes in this gigantic envelope that your school mails off for you. It gets sent to this committee that judges your work, and they rate it on a scale of 1 to 5. If you receive a 3 or higher on your portfolio, you can receive college credit for taking AP Art in high school. But if you get anything below that, obviously you don't get any credit. It doesn't mean you failed the class, it just means you won't get the college credit for it. My portfolio, I ended up getting a 2, so that was really disappointing. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I know you guys have, pretty much all of you have seen like all my new work, so now you can kind of see where I started and all the crap that I kind of had to get past when I was a teenage artist. I did have a very patient art teacher. She actually is the one who taught me how to draw upside down, which is how I draw everything. I remember I was doing a self-portrait and I was having a little bit of trouble with the proportions, so she showed me how to like turn the drawing upside down and to draw like the eyes and stuff from a different view, and that has really helped me. So that has really helped me. I don't really think that I can draw well right side up. I mean, I can, but it's not as accurate. So I do draw everything upside down. You can actually see that in some of my videos. I did recently do a live stream of me drawing so people can actually see that I'm not making it up. I don't trace. I don't ever use a grid. I draw everything out by hand. I will try to do like one live stream each week on Instagram. If you want to, you can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. I will also leave a link for my website in the description below so you can see all of the supplies that I use, as well as there's a Spotify playlist on there that I made. It's called Drawing Session, so that's a lot of the music or the genres of music that I listen to when I'm working. There's also a gallery there, there's other YouTube videos there, there's a biography about me. If you're looking to order a drawing, there's a contact form that you can fill out and send to me. So go ahead and check that out. Thank you so much if you're already subscribed. I really, really do appreciate it. So I'll see you guys later. Bye!